Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Chapter 19. Maitreya Uvacha Atadhikshat Raja tu Hayamedashatena Saha Brahma Varte Manoha Kshetre Yatra Prachi Saraswati. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, King Pruthu initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavarta and it was controlled by Swayambhuva Manu. तदभिप्रेत्य भगवान् कर्मातिशयमात्मनः शतक्रतुर्न ममृषे पृतोर्यज्ञमहोत्सवम्. When the most powerful Indira, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Pruthu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indira could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Pruthu. Yatra yajnapatis sakshat bhagavan haririshwaraha anvabhuyata sarvatma sarvaloka guru prabhuhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as a supersoul, and he is the proprietor of all planets and the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifice made by King Pruthu. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam Lokapalai Sahanugaihi Upagiyamano Gandharvair Munibhishchapsaroganaihi. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharvaloka, the great sages, the residents of Apsaraloka, all praised him. Siddha Vidyadara Daitya Dhanava Guhyakadayaha Sunandananda Pramukaha Parshada Pravaraharehe. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of the Siddhaloka and Vidyadharaloka, all the descendants of Diti and the demons and the yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Kapilo Narado Datto Yogashah Sanakadayaha Tamanviyurbhagavata Ye Chatat Sevanotsukaha. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers headed by Sanaka Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Yatra dharma dugha bhumihi sarvakama dughasati dogdhi smabhipsita nartan yajamanasya bharata. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk producing Kamadenu, and thus the performance of Yagna, and thus by the performance of the Yagna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. ऊहुः सर्वरसानद्यः क्षीरदध्यन्नगोरसान् तरवो भूरिवर्ष्माणः प्रासूयन्त मधुच्युतः. The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc., and the very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. Sindavo Ratnanikaran गिरयोन्नं चतुर्विधम् उपायनमुपाजह्रुः सर्वे लोकाः सपालकाः. King Pruthu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and the seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. Iti chadokshajeshasya prutostu paramodhayam असूयन् भगवान् इन्द्रः प्रतिघातमचीकरत्. King Pruthu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja. Because King Pruthu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. King Pruthu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by the King of Heaven, Indira, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. Charamena yajamane yajushpatim vainye yajnapashum spardhan napovahati rohitah. When Pruthu Maharaja was performing the last horse sacrifice, Aswamedha Yagna, King Indira, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Pruthu. Tamatrir Bhagavanaikshtvaramanam vihayasa amuktamiva pakandam yodharme dharma vibramaha. When King Indira was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, his dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created the impression of religion. When Indira went into the outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. Atrina chodito hantum prutuputro maharatah anvadhavata samkruddhastishtatishtetiti chabravit. When the son of King Pruthu was informed by Atri of King Indira's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indira to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait." Tam tadrushakrutim vikshya mane dharmam sharirinam jatilam Bhasmanachannam tasmai banam na munchati. King Indira was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Pruthu, considered Indira a religious man and pious sannyasi. Therefore, he did not release his arrows. वधान्निवृत्तं तं भूयो हन्तवेत्रिरचोदयत् जहि यज्ञहनं तात महेन्द्रं विबुधाधमम्. When Atri Muni saw that the son of King Pruthu did not kill Indira but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king because he thought that Indira had become the lowest of the demigods due to his impeding the execution of King Pruthu's sacrifice. Evam Vainyasutah Proktastvaramanam Vihayasa Anvadravadabikruddo Ravanam Grudraradiva. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indira, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was very angry with him, and he chased him just as the king of vultures chased Ravana. Soshvam rupam cha taditva tasma antarhitaswarat virasvapashumadhaya pituryajnamupeyivan. When Indira saw that the son of Pruthu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot, and the great hero, the son of King Pruthu, Maharaja Pruthu, returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. Tattasya chadbhutam karma vichakshya paramarshayah namadheyam dudustasmai vijitashva iti prabho. My dear Lord Vidura, when the great sage observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Pruthu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijitashva. Upasrujyatamasti tivram jaharashvam punarharihi chashalayupataschanno hiranyarashanam vibhuhu. My dear Vidura, Indira, being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where animals were sacrificed. Atris sandarshayamasa twaramanam vihayasa kapalakata vargadaram kapalakatwangadaram viro nainamabhadata. The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Pruthu that Indira was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Pruthu, chased him again, but when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. Atrina choditastasmai sandhate vishikam rusha soshvam rupam chataditva tasyavantarhitaswarat When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Pruthu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indira immediately abandoned the false dress of sannyasi and giving up the horse made himself invisible. वीरश्चाश्वसुपादाय पितृयज्ञमताव्रजत् तदवद्यं हरेरूपं जुहुहुर्ज्ञानदुर्बलाः. Then the great hero Vijitashva, the son of King Pruthu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of false sannyasi. It was King Indira who introduced this. Yani rupani jagruhe indro hayajihirshaya tani papasya kandhani lingam kanda mihochyate. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of atheistic philosophy. Evam indre haratyashvam vainyayajnajigamsaya tadgruhita visrushteshu pakandeshu mahirnrunam dharma ityupadharmeshu nagnarattnapatadhishu payane sanjate bhrantya peshaleshu cha vagmishu. In this way, King Indira, in order to steal the horse from King Pruthu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyasa. Some sannyasis go naked, and sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. These are simple symbolic representations of their sinful activities. They are so-called sannyasis. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless atheists and very expert in putting together arguments and reasons to support their cause. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and are not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious, and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. Tadabhijñāya Bhagavan Prutuparakramaha Indraya Kupito Bhanam Adattodhyata Karmukaha. Maharaja Pruthu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indira himself because Indira had introduced such irregular sannyasa orders. Tamrutvijah Shakravadhabhisandhitam Vichakshya Dushprekshya Masahyaram Hasam Nivarayāmasuraho Mahamate Nayujyate Tranyavadah Prachodhitat. When the priests and all the others saw Maharaja Pruthu very angry and prepared to kill Indira, they requested him, O great soul, do not kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra. Vayam marutvanta mihartanashanam havyamahe tvachravasa hatatvisham. Ayatayamopahavairanantaram prasahya rajan juhavamate hitam. Dear King, Indira's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus by the power of our mantra we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. इत्यामन्त्र्य क्रतुपतिं विदुरास्यर्त्विजोरुषा सृग्दस्ताञ्जुह्वतोऽभ्येत्य स्वयंभूः प्रत्यषेदत. My dear Vidura, after giving the king this advice, the priests who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indira, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation into the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice. Navadyo bhavatam indro yadyagno bhagavatanuhu yam jigam satajajnena yasyeshtastanavah suraha. Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill Indira, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indira is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the Personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by performance of this Yagna, but you should know that all these demigods are parts and parcels of Indira, the king of heaven. Hence, how then can you kill him in this great sacrifice? Tadidam pashyata mahadharmavyatikaram dvijaha indrenanushtitam rajnyaha karmaitadvijigam sata. In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Pruthu's great sacrifice, King Indira had adopted some means that in the future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious symptoms. Pruthu kirteh prutor bhuyat tarhyeko nashatakratuhu alam te kratubhi srishtair yadbhavan moksha dharmavit. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performances for Maharaja Pruthu, Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaja Pruthu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use of performing more sacrifices? Naivatmane mahendraya roshamahartumarhasi ubhavapihi badram te uttamashloka vigrahau. Lord Brahma continued, Let there be good fortune to both of you, for you and King Indira are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indira, who is non-different from you. Masmin Maharaja Krutasma Chintam Nishamayasmadvacha Adhrutatma Yadhyayato Daivahatam Nukartum Manotirushtam Vishate Tamondham. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangements, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. क्रतुर् क्रतुर्विरमतामेष देवेषु दुरवग्रहः धर्मव्यतिकरो यत्र पाकण्डैरिन्द्रनिर्मितैः. Lord Brahma continued, "Stop the performance of these sacrifices, for they have induced Indira to introduce so many irreligious aspects. You should know very well that even amongst demigods there are many unwanted desires. येभिरिन्द्रोपसंसृष्टैः पाकण्डैर्हारिभिर्जनं ह्रियमाणं विचक्ष्वैनं यस्ते यज्ञदृगाश्वमुठ." Just see how Indira, the king of heaven, was creating a disturbance in the midst of the sacrifice by stealing the sacrificial horse. These attractive sinful activities he has introduced will be carried out by people in general. भवान् परित्रातुमिहावतीर्णो धर्मं जनानां समयानुरूपं वैनापचारादवलुप्तमध्य तद्देहतो विष्णुकलासि वैन्य. O King Pruthu, son of Veena, you are the part and parcel expansion of Lord Vishnu. Due to the mischievous activities of King Veena, religious principles were almost lost. At that opportune moment, you descended as the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Indeed, for the protection of religious principles, you have appeared from the body of King Veena. Sattvam विमृश्यास्य भवं प्रजापते संकल्पनं विश्वसृजां पिपीप्रुहि ऐन्द्रीं च मायामुपधर्ममातरं प्रचण्डपाकण्डपतं प्रभोजहि. O protector of the people in general, please consider the purpose of your being incarnated by Lord Vishnu. The irreligious principles created by Indira are but mothers of so many unwanted religions. Please therefore stop these imitations immediately. Maitreya uvacha ittam salokaguruna samadhishto vishampatihi tata cha krutva vatsalyam maghonapi cha sandhate. The great sage Maitreya continued, when King Pruthu was thus advised by the supreme teacher, Lord Brahma, he abandoned his eagerness to perform yagnas and with great affection concluded a peace with King Indira. कृतावमृत्तस्नानाय पृथवे भूरि कर्मणे वरान् ददुस्ते वरधा ये तद्बर्हिषि तर्पिताः. After this, King Pruthu took his bath, which is customarily taken after the performance of a yagna, and received the benedictions and due blessings of the demigods, who were very pleased by his glorious activities. विप्रासत्याशिषस्तुष्टाः श्रद्धया लब्धदक्षिणाः आशिषो युयुजुः क्षत्ता राधिराजाय सत्कृताः. आशिषो युजुः क्षक्तारादिराजाय सत्कृताः. With great respect, the original king Pruthu offered all kinds of rewards to the Brahmanas present at the sacrifice. Since all these Brahmanas were very much satisfied, they gave their heartfelt blessings to the king. त्वया हूता महाबाहो सर्व एव समागताः पूजिता दानमानाभ्यां पितृदेवर्षिमानवाः. All the great sages and the Brahmanas said, O mighty king, by your invitation, all classes of living entities have attended this assembly. They have come from Pitraloka and the heavenly planets, and the great sages as well as common men have attended this meeting. Now all of them are very much satisfied by your dealings and your charity towards them. Thus ends the chapter entitled King Pruthu's 100 Horse Sacrifices. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.